Are you slow? Because if you are, congratulations, I am too. So if you're new to the party or slow, welcome to Visionary Thoughts. My name is Ayesha. If I never even mentioned that before, well then just hi, welcome, and thanks for being here. But today I'm going to show you why being slow can actually be to your advantage and really allow you to fulfill and step fully into your purpose, so you are actually the one to grow faster in wealth and have longevity in your life. And so I had to really sit with this, and it took a while for me to even admit how slow I was. Now, I was slow in a lot of different things. I've been slow to process things. I've been slow to even delegate my own tasks around the house because I wanted everything to be perfect. I have this obscene sense of OCD, and I think the O stands for obscene in OCD. The O in OCD does not stand for obscene. Obscene actually means offensive or disgusting by accepted standards of morality and decency, and shame on me for even utilizing that term. I spoke out of pocket. The O is obsessive compulsive disorder, and that's what I'm referring to. So before y'all clock it, I'm clocking me. I should probably know that by now, but I'm so technical with how I want things, and I just like things to be really clean, and I want to have it in a specific order. So I can come off very slow in how I finish my tasks, how I process my tasks. Even when I was doing homework, I was so confused in grade school because everybody was getting their work done before me, but guess who had the best grades? Anyways, neither here or there. It really doesn't matter about grades or how well you're doing around other people. It's really how well are you able to retain and process that information for yourself. And I feel like this is a very important topic of conversation right now, especially because everybody is pushing for us to get things done fast. You have to be fast with social media. You have to be fast with pushing out your next greatest content. You have to be fast with the next product that you're building. You have to be fast with your blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just a lot. And it doesn't really have to be that way, because if you've noticed, and especially in the times that we're in now, fast doesn't always win the race. We know the tell-all tale of the was it a rabbit? Was it a fox that was zooming through, and the slow turtle that actually won the race because it knew where it wanted to go. And it's not even about winning the race against somebody else. It's about knowing the purpose that you have to then be able to step into your assignment. That's what it's really about. And they miss that entire aspect of when these gurus or when these educators or when whoever is telling us that we need to move faster in this world. It's quite literally the opposite. And so for me, when it comes to slowly processing, I like to think of it as rendering. And in the same way of a computer, if you ask it, especially artificial intelligence, I don't know about you guys, when I ask my prompts are about a good dissertation long. They're very long. About 5 sentences, I'm giving it a question, then I'm giving it context, then I'm giving it my thoughts, then I'm asking the question again, and then I'm like, just to be sure, I want you to answer it in this way so I can get the full scope of what they're asking for. So that's sometimes how I like to input my prompts. But if the larger my prompt is, the more it has to process things. And I think we can learn so much from the technology when it comes to artificial intelligence and just computers and things in general, because when it's outputting information, sometimes it takes a minute to load. And it's because it is compiling all this information that we have to then give us an output that's digestible enough in a way to at least get ourselves going. If you hear all types of animals around my house, my home is in the middle of Los Angeles, but it is filled with nature. So for anybody that says that we don't have wildlife out here, you hear it all around my house. And so to get back to the point, it's so important for us to remember that technology really is just the reflection of who we are as humans. They are doing their best to computate, analyze, and then release information in the ways that humans are. And of course, our goal is for the processing to be faster when it comes to computers, but it can only be as fast as what we're capable of processing things. But when it comes back to us being slow, That's the same way as when ChatGPT is rendering an image, right? When it's first learning to dissect what you're saying to then give you an input that you desire, it takes time for it to really compute what that looks like so it could give you a desirable result. Now, is that to say that it's going to give you the best result? No. ChatGPT, till this point, has given out pretty awful images, but it's also produced pretty incredible images. But that comes with time, with how you're able to better communicate and how you're able to then deliver the message that you're looking for. But it really is all about iteration. And so, ironically, even if we're slow to build something out, we might be quick in some aspects of it. So we're looking at it from a micro, in a smaller sense, where yes, it seems like we're getting a lot of things done, but on a macro sense, it seems like things are moving a lot slower. And I think I think it's really important for us to remember that the macro is the goal, the purpose, the dream that we want to live out in our lives, and the micro steps are the little steps along the way, the journey that we have to learn to appreciate as we continue on our assignment, as we continue on to how to fully live out our purpose and maximize our opportunity and our potential as humans. To maximize our opportunity and potential as human beings, to live fully in our purpose, to deliver value into this world, and to deliver meaning, inspiration, and life back into this world. I've been reading a lot of Genesis. Well, I'm proud to say that word for word, I finished reading the book of Genesis in the Bible, and it really does have so many clues and principles on how to operate in your life, especially in the first pages alone, as God is creating the heavens and the earth and the grass and the ground and the people and the gold and all these other things. Y'all have heard me say it a gajillion times. I've been listening to Myron Golden. He is a consummate communicator, just prolific in how he speaks and just how he's able to deliver the message in a way that is very objective. And so in how I've been able to analyze what the book of Genesis means and being able to fully process what that looks like, it's a matter of iterations and being able to really take your time and fix and tweak and improve areas on how to improve your life. And when it comes specifically down to, I was losing my train of thought for a second. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've always been honest, but I want to be transparent. That's a better way to put it. In how I was processing that last little bit, I was keeping up and I was like, oh, maybe I could have this little facade. Anyways, I'm going to get back to the point before I lose it again. When we step into our true purpose to be able to maximize our opportunity and maximize our potential, we are following the exact principle of Genesis, that where God first tells man to be fruitful, to multiply, to subdue the earth and have dominion over it. That is one of the most profound things I've ever heard. Among other things, I get really excited about a lot of different things that I discover and learned. However, when we are fruitful, that means take time to find your purpose. If there is all the time in the world, and we already don't have all the time in the world, but when we can maximize the time that we have in this world to be fruitful, that means if we can take our time to be purposeful and find our purpose, we can then multiply, which is even in itself an incredible concept, because multiplying also equates to exponential growth. If anyone has studied anything when it comes to finances, and one day I will share my journey when it comes to finances, because that is one of the biggest hurdles that I have had to learn to overcome, because I didn't have much growing up. And that's not to say that the things that I did have wasn't substantial to how I am now able to navigate my life. No, it was a core piece that I needed to grow and step into my life, my truth, and my purpose. But when it comes to exponential growth, you could be at 0, you could be at this little tiny slot, and then all of a sudden it's like, it shoots up. And that's the multiplicity and the beauty of it. So even though things are going slow, as soon as you get that little momentum going, it shoots like a rocket, and it's incredible to see. And in order to do that, you have to clear out the space, which is what subdue is. You have to clear out the space to make room for the new. Word to my iron golden, and even breaking this down, to be able to clear out that space takes time. You have to be slow with it, because what if you got that one little root that can be so destructive in your life that sets you back X amount of days, months, weeks, years? It could set us back in ways that we haven't even imagined. I mean, I've gone through that, even still being slow and planning it out. But it's not about the failure of it or the mistakes that you made. That's inevitable. It's really about learning from those experiences to then create a full fleshed out system. And I didn't even realize that my brain was wired to build out a system when I was rendering and processing the pieces to even get there. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, oh, I can see the entire scope of a business. Right now, I have been working on three of my own businesses and a 4th one in partnership. Well, I've been working on 4 businesses. One of them is on my own. 2 of them is in partnership with someone else. 3rd is a license. It's complicated because they're all licensed. They're all a little bit different, but I cannot go too deep into that. Just know I'm running 4 businesses, okay? And in the process of learning these 4 businesses, I've learned that my strength comes from rendering, processing the information, taking it all in, visualizing, start to finish back to the beginning, because not only am I building out everything, I have to use the big picture vision that I am now using as I want to see my purpose, not even my purpose, the purpose that God has placed in me to then get pushed out back into the world, to reverse engineer that to then build it back up. That's a lot. And it's not going to happen overnight. I used to be so frustrated at how slow I can be in processing all these things. But now, being at a point in my life to then see how this has become the exponential starting point for where our businesses stand, and to see what we are going to release and the impact that it's going to have on the world, there's no better feeling. So growing up, I was told I'm a little slow, I'm not really hearing people, I'm not listening. It's because I wasn't responding right away, but I wasn't seeking to respond. Sometimes when I got a little bit too comfortable, which I can admit, I just got excited and I start rambling. But now I like to tell people, well, I'm speaking to you as I am processing these things, and my answers could change. And really taking pride in that. And once it finally clicked to me that, oh my God, I can be slow. That is such a superpower in a world that is pushing you to put out mediocre content for the sake of quantity instead of quality. So, and in the slowness, being able to still process, you get faster over time. And to be able to now communicate in a way as I am processing these things and having no shame that my full philosophy, my full concept, my full whatever it is still in the works. And now be able to take others along in the journey. I mean, people like to see other people grow. And now to finally understand what that looks like, and now pull in different pieces from my rendering journey, then I can finally say, hey, this is something that is worth looking into. So if you feel like you've been slow in coming to your truth, if you feel like you've been slow in some of the trends or the fads or what people are catching on to, I mean, let your mind process, but it is important to bring awareness back into where your awareness is even going. Because if you don't even recognize that and you're just like, oh, I'm slow, I'm so slow, like I can't do this, that's not what I'm here to say at all. You don't say I can't. It's not about I can't, it's I can, but let me find a creative way to then do it in a way that makes sense to me. Because somebody else might be looking for a way that you're doing it to then build on that so that it makes sense for them in their lives. It took me a minute to even process that. I thought I was missing something, and it was no, give yourself time to think that through. So if you're slow or you couldn't admit to yourself that you're slow, welcome to the party. I hope that I have been able to provide some insight to you on how to use that as your power and to continue to grow and step into your truth, maximize your opportunity, and maximize your potential. So thank you so much for coming and listening to some visionary thoughts. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and check out some other videos that we have. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Bye.